By the summer of 1945, Japan's industrial base and urban centers had been reduced to ash. Relentless firebombing completely shattered the basic economic fabric of the country. The destruction of the urban grid triggered a mass migration. An estimated 8.5 million civilians fled the cities, carrying whatever they could to escape the collapsing infrastructure. Then came the atomic bombs. The strikes on Hiroshima and Nagasaki delivered a level of technological devastation that instantly ended the conflict. Curious, analytical tone. At the beginning of the war, this same empire executed a rapid, devastating expansion across the entire Pacific. To understand how that military machine collapsed so absolutely, we have to look at the structural flaws built into it from the very start. In December 1941, the Japanese military executed a surprise attack designed to neutralize American naval forces. Their strategy was to rapidly seize a massive perimeter across the Pacific before anyone could react. They believed the United States was provocatively weak and would accept these territorial losses to negotiate a peace. It was a plan for a short conflict with limited liabilities. The United States actually was unprepared. A severe lack of pre-war strategic and economic intelligence left the American military blind to both Japanese intentions and their immediate capabilities. But the Japanese government had a fatal structural flaw of its own. It lacked any effective civilian oversight to check the military's aggressive expansion. Inside that military, the Army and the Navy were locked in a bitter bureaucratic rivalry. Instead of executing unified, long-term strategic planning, they operated almost as separate entities fighting for resources. By rapidly stretching their supply lines across the ocean, they failed to force a negotiation. They woke an industrial giant, turning their planned short war into a total, sustained conflict they did not have the resources to survive. As the United States recovered and mobilized, the geometry of the Pacific theater shifted. Surface fleets could only survive if they held absolute control of the air above them. With superiority in the sky, the American military could leapfrog across the ocean. They deliberately bypassed heavily fortified Japanese islands, cutting off their supply lines completely. For the troops trapped on those isolated islands, the reality was grim. Pounded relentlessly from above and entirely cut off from reinforcements, the garrisons were left to wither and starve. Aircraft also solved the massive logistical problem of fighting across vast distances. The Allies were able to supply, move, and support entire armies at inland bases exclusively from the sky. When ground forces did have to take a defended beach, close coordination with air support allowed them to successfully overwhelm fortified positions and secure their beachheads. In the Pacific, the first objective of every commander, regardless of branch, was to secure the air above them. While the United States was rapidly integrating its forces, Japan's disjointed leadership failed to foresee the enormous logistical requirements needed to sustain a protracted air war. In desperate attempts to hold their perimeter, the Japanese committed their elite, fully trained pilots in a piecemeal fashion. They lost them permanently in grinding battles of attrition, leaving their fleets vulnerable. But the most severe blow to the Japanese war machine came from a relentless campaign of submarines and aircraft hunting down their merchant shipping fleet. This chart shows the total available Japanese merchant shipping tonnage from 1941 to 1945. The steep drop indicates an empire being economically strangled. Long before bombs started falling on their factories, Japan was starving for essential oil and raw materials. The climax of this strangulation came when massive fleets of B-29 bombers began blanketing the Japanese home islands, facing almost zero effective enemy opposition. This inescapable pressure from above completely shattered civilian confidence. It proved to the Japanese leadership that their defensive capacity was totally gone, forcing them to accept unconditional surrender. Immediately following the war, a massive forensic study called the United States Strategic Bombing Survey was commissioned to document exactly how this collapse occurred. The report concluded that winning required more than just individual success at sea or on land. It required a unified military establishment where every branch operated under a single, coordinated strategy. The survey highlighted that entering a conflict with inadequate strategic intelligence is a recipe for disaster. Constant, accurate operational awareness is a strict requirement for survival. Looking back at 1941, The survey found that the Japanese only committed to the strike on Pearl Harbor because they had correctly identified massive gaps in American defenses. This weighed on Secretary of War Stimson. He realized that with the release of atomic energy, humanity's strategic bombing survey provided a tactical blueprint for future conflicts. But the absolute devastation of the Pacific War serves as a much starker warning. Mankind must find a way to lasting peace.